A vignette on WWE Raw possibly could be the impending debut of former AEW star Penta Miedo. Let you know all the details on that. Plus, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins has been confirmed for Raw's debut on Netflix in January. In addition to that, Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa's Tribal Combat match has also been confirmed for the premiere show on the streaming platform. The War Raiders are the brand new WWE World Tag Team Champions, winning the titles last night on Raw. Zoe Starks has advanced in the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament. TNA Wrestling could see several stars set to leave, with several contracts reportedly set to expire or already having expired. We've got an update on Jade Cargill's current injury status, plus the ratings for SmackDown on Friday, as well as Rampage Winter is Coming, and the New Day have been kicked out of the locker room on Monday Night Raw. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with an interesting teaser last night on Raw that may possibly be the impending debut of former AEW star Penta Miedo in WWE. Now, a teaser video on Raw on Monday has wrestling fans on social media talking, speculating on what appeared to be a zero with a line through the digit, meaning and what it could mean and who it could represent. Those online are speculating that the O could mean Penta Miedo, or Pentagon Jr., who became a free agent after his AEW contract expired at the end of November. Now, the video teaser didn't show much, just what appeared to be the writing of a zero in orange on a black background with dramatic music playing. Now, Penta recently made an appearance in AAA where he seemingly said goodbye to the fans in Mexico. If the video on Raw is in reference to a possible signing, he would not be able to work for AAA while signed with WWE. Penta's exit from AEW was not met without controversy, however, as his brother Rey Fenix had injury time added to his deal after word got out the pair had allegedly been speaking with WWE while still under contract with Tony Khan's company. Phoenix is projected to be with AEW for nearly another year, and many have been speculating whether Penta would join WWE without his brother. The Lucha Brothers had been absent entirely from AEW programming since August of this year, when word about their communication with WWE got out. Phoenix had been vocal about his treatment in AEW in now deleted social media posts. Now, Netflix and the premiere of Monday Night Raw on that streaming platform is getting closer and closer for WWE, and on the Netflix debut of Raw on January 6th, CM Punk and Seth Rollins are finally getting the match many expected to see at WrestleMania 40. The news was made official on this week's Raw after Punk and Rollins exchanged heated words before starting a brawl in the opening segment. The news confirms a Friday report that said the match was planned for the first Monday of 2025. CM Punk opened the show with a promo addressing his ongoing feud with Rollins and reckoning with the idea that they are due for a collision inside the ring sooner rather than later. He said he wasn't feeling happy after last week's confrontation and likened his current rival to his former one, Drew McIntyre, questioning whether Rollins felt he was tough enough to do what McIntyre couldn't. For his part, Rollins emerged in the crowd, much like he did when he was part of the Shield, calling Punk an asshole and reiterating his belief that he had put the WWE on his back and made it stronger, while the Second City Saint had abandoned it. Rollins then proceeded to call Punk by his real name, Phil, before meeting at ringside for a brawl, prompting Adam Pearce and WWE officials to separate the two. In a following backstage segment, Rollins yelled at Pearce for once again getting involved, before the general manager argued back that if Rollins could give him the chance, he would look into giving a green light. McIntyre then appeared and exchanged a few words with Rollins. Rollins took issue with the fact that McIntyre had recently targeted Sami Zayn, Jay and Jimmy Uso, while McIntyre recalled when Rollins had told him to forget about his issues with Punk, only for Rollins to now understand the feeling, and spoke up the idea of them pairing together for an alliance. After Pearce made Punk vs Rollins official later on in the evening, McIntyre was seen being attacked by Sami Zayn backstage, setting their Saturday night's main event rematch on next week's episode of Raw. Now, it wasn't the only thing set for Netflix that is now confirmed because of Monday night's broadcast. After challenging his younger cousin to a match in a video package on SmackDown, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa's Tribal Combat match is officially set for Raw's first show on Netflix. It was revealed on Raw on Monday that the match, essentially a no disqualification stipulation with no outside interference, is set for the big premiere. In the SmackDown vignette, Reigns addressed his singles feud with Sikoa after the original Bloodline, featuring Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and the aforementioned CM Punk on their team, defeated the new Bloodline and Bronson Reed at Survivor Series War Games. Reigns said he was giving the opportunity to Sikoa to earn the Ulafala, a symbol of chiefdom like he did, and set the challenge for the Netflix premiere of Raw, despite the two being SmackDown superstars. Reigns vs. Sikoa will be the second ever tribal combat match in WWE. The stipulation was first introduced when Jey Uso challenged Reigns at SummerSlam in 2023, with Reigns putting the undisputed WWE Championship on the line then. Now, we have brand new World Tag Team Champions last night coming out of Monday Night Raw. New World Tag Team Champions were crowned in the main events of Raw as the War Raiders overcame the Judgment Day. Eric and Ivar were getting their second opportunity at the titles held by Finn Balor and JD McDonough after previously failing through Dominic Mysterio's interference last month, with the added caveat that Monday's title bout would see the rest of the Judgment Day banned from ringside. Much in the same way as before, the Raiders dominated over the defending champions before finding themselves at a disadvantage through underhanded tactics, only just managing to escape a pinfall loss in heading into the closing stretch. Frustrated with their inability to put the challengers away, Balor gestured for McDonough to get him a steel chair, but McDonough was prevented from doing so by a mysterious figure revealed to be Damian Priest. With Priest's distraction, Balor was opened up for the War Raiders to connect with War Machine for the pinfall and become the new tag team champions, ending the Judgment Day's reign at 176 days. This is the Raiders' third tag title reign with WWE, having previously reigned as the Raw Tag Team Champions and NXT Tag Team Champions. The two men both recently returned from neck injuries and speculation that the careers may be over, making the victory even more validating. Now, speaking of titles, the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament continues to rumble on as the right-hand woman to current Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, the powerhouse Raquel Rodriguez, was surely a favourite to progress in the inaugural WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. All she had to do was win a triple threat match on the December 16 episode of Raw, but in an upset, Rodriguez came up short to a wily Zoe Stark, who took her first televised victory in months to progress to the tournament semi-finals. Rodriguez came out of the gate with fiery intensity, making quick work of Stark and Kaden Carter, who was also making her solo match debut of Monday's tournament match. Stark fought her way back into the playing field by laying hands on Rodriguez before connecting with a DDT onto Carter, who had tried to score a pick victory via a monkey flip. The match's finish flew by as Carter tried once again to score a victory via a roll-up pin onto Rodriguez, only to be sufficiently leveled by the powerhouse. Stark took advantage of the chaos to land a Z360 on Carter, and while Stark may not have caught all of it, it was sufficient to put Carter away for the victory. Monday marked Stark's first televised victory since late September, when she took a victory against Lyra Valkyria, while also progressing in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament semi-finals on the December 9th episode of Raw. Stark is now slated to face Dakota Kai in the tournament semi-finals at a currently undisclosed date. Shortly after a shocking victory, Stark and the rest of Pure Fusion Collective were seen assaulting Kairi Sane backstage. It seems that Sane's arm was crushed in between two backstage equipment boxes. Sane's condition is currently being assessed, and it's unclear whether she'll be cleared to compete in her own tournament match against Natalya and Albert Fire. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to several talent leaving TNA Wrestling. Now, these all come courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. They are reporting that they have learned that Kushida is on his last contracted loop with TNA. He most recently challenged Moose for the TNA X Division Championship at TNA Final Resolution and faced Ace Austin at the television tapings the next night. Kushida has had a few stints in TNA/Impact since July 2022, shortly after he left WWE. During that time, he's also been wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Kushida competed for TNA throughout 2024. His most recent run started in November following the conclusion of the New Japan Super Junior Tag League. Kushida is set to defend the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 19 on January 4. Now, another contract is set to come up this year. Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp has confirmed that AJ Francis, formerly known as Top Dollar, will see his contract with TNA expire at the end of 2024 unless there's a new deal reached, and has worked his last contracted date so far. Those that Fightful have spoken to have said that both sides have enjoyed working together and extension is possible. Tommy Dreamer pushed for Francis to get an opportunity in TNA, which led to a contract offer being extended. Francis has been working with Casey Navarro in First Class, which was a bit of last-minute creative. Francis challenged Nick Nemeth for the TNA title at this past weekend show and got great praise internally and from the audience for the performance. In addition to that, Trent Seven will also be wrapping up with TNA soon, at least for now. Fightful Select has learned that Trent Seven is on his last contracted loop with TNA. Seven worked the TNA Final Resolution show on December 13 and the following set of television tapings. Seven is a former NXT UK Tag Team Champion and made his debut at Final Resolution 2023 and subsequently signed a deal with the company. Throughout his time in TNA, Seven teamed up with Mike Bailey as Speedball Mountain. Seven turned on Bailey after he lost the TNA X Division Championship. In recent months, Sevens has also remained active overseas as he competed for Progress, OTT, and other promotions. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to Jade Cargill and her current injury status. Another day and another update on whether Women's Tag Team Champion Jade Cargill is legitimately injured or not. On the November 22nd episode of SmackDown, Cargill was attacked backstage and left on the hood of a car, which left many people wondering what angle the company was going for. In the weeks since, there have been multiple reports claiming that she isn't hurt, that she is hurt, but no one knows what's going on with her or what's wrong with her. And the most recent report from PW Insider stating that Cargill was actually taking part in non-wrestling ventures and was on vacation in the Bahamas. Now, however, there's been another update from Brian Alvarez, who put forth a much less rosy prognosis on the recent edition of Wrestling Observer Live. He said, quote, Jade Cargill, by the way, I don't care what you read online, okay? Jade Cargill is injured and it's serious, and I don't know when she's going to be back. Now, despite her injury supposedly being severe, WWE has yet to strip Cargill and her partner Bianca Belair of the Women's Tag Team Championships, which has resulted in Naomi taking Cargill's place in an upcoming title defense. The company has previously replaced one half of the champions when someone suffered an injury, with the most recent example being Piper Niven being drafted in to replace Sonya Deville as Chelsea Green's co-champion in 2023. While it's unclear how serious Cargill's injuries actually are, they were serious enough for her to be removed from the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series by Bayley, as well as in the Women's United States Championship tournament by Lash Legend. Now, let's talk about the ratings for Friday's episode of SmackDown. Of course, it was the go-home show for Saturday night's main event. And Friday night's episode of SmackDown averaged 1.53 million viewers on the USA Network, which is up over 2% from the previous week, which did 1.49 million. It's the largest audience for the show that it's done since November 22nd, the aforementioned Jade Cargill injury episode. SmackDown topped the cable charts for the day, according to WrestleNomics, with a 0.47 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. That's up close to 7% from the December 6th show, and ties the highest rating the show has done in that category since October 11th. As compared to the same week in 2023, when the show was still on Fox, the overall audience was down 31.7%, while the 18 to 49 rating was down over 14%. Now, let's also talk about the ratings for Friday's episode of AEW Rampage. Of course, it was the special Winter is Coming edition of the show. The Friday, December 13th episode of AEW Rampage averaged 279,000 viewers on TNT, which is up over 57% from the previous week. It's the largest audience for the show since September 20th. Rampage averaged a 0.08 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. That's double what last week's record low rating was in the normal time slot, and is the highest rating the show has done in that category since November 22nd. There was no college football competition Friday as compared to other weeks, which likely explains the relatively higher viewership and key demographic number as well. Now, as compared to the same week in 2023, the overall viewership was down 9.4%, while the 18 to 49 rating was exactly the same. And finally, The New Day, they were kicked out the locker room last night on Monday Night Raw. The New Day, of course, took part in their 10th-year anniversary celebration on Raw after many weeks of tension between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. However, the angle ended in shocking fashion when Big E made his return on the show, opting to be Kofi and Woods' manager before the pair would berate E, officially removing him from the New Day. In the weeks since, New Day have felt the consequences of their actions, despite them being adamant they did nothing wrong. On last night's show, Kofi and Woods pulled up backstage, but were greeted by Rey Mysterio when they attempted to enter the locker room. Rey said that the entire locker room had an issue with the pair for what they did to Big E on the show, with Rey saying it would be best if they found somewhere else to change, banning Kofi and Woods from the locker room. Now, what this leads to remains to be seen, but certainly it could be the beginning of a program with the New Day and possibly the LWO. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.